Hey guys, this is Noah's Gaming PCs with yet another quick video. So the talk of the town, the game that everybody wants to play is the beautiful game Starfield. Very demanding. So I'm going to show you guys how you can make a recommended PC build for playing this game at the recommended settings that Starfield themselves has recommended. So I was doing some investigation. I already picked out the parts, so we're gonna go by the parts one by one. But basically, recommendation is 16 gigabytes of RAM. That's pretty much standard nowadays. I focused on getting a RTX 2080 and finding something very similar to a Ryzen 5 3600X. So let's go ahead and go through the parts. Again, I highly recommend that you go to this website called CPU Monkey. They give you benchmark scores for the single core and the multi-core tests across different processors. So this is the one that we're going to go with. Interesting enough, I know some of you are going to say, no way, no way you can build a gaming for that price. And by the way, it's sub $500, which is pretty remarkable. That's pretty much a budget computer, but you're going to be able to play this very demanding game on high on the recommended settings. So don't quote me, but I'm looking at low to mid. You're going to get easily around 60 FPS or not a little bit more. But here we go, guys. So I go in against the what the community of gamers normally say. Oh, stick to the modern day CPUs. No, we can go with a little bit older CPU that's used. And I know some people are going to comment on this video saying, no, it's not possible. But let's look at this article right here. So we have the Ryzen 5 3600X side by side with the Xeon X5675. Yeah, this is kind of crazy, Noah. Pretty crazy. Well, let's take a look at it. So side by side, there's no doubt that this particular CPU that they recommend here is the recommended one, and it's better. It's better than what I selected. But I'm going to show you why I decided to go with this. If we go back to this article, the clear winner between these two CPUs is, of course, the one that Starfield recommends. But this guy is not too far behind, actually. And this is actually pretty pricey. Buy this for over $200, a CPU for over $200 on Amazon, compared to this guy here, which is used older CPU with very similar performance, and look for the fraction of the price. $13. You can go to eBay and buy the CPU for $13. Why would you want to pay $200 for a CPU if you can find a CPU that's, of course, it's not as good, but it's not terribly that far off either? So this guy here, the Xeon X56, would fall within the range between what the Starfield has minimum recommended and the recommended requirements. So obviously I'm not denying that the Xeon is not as good as this, but it's probably better or as good as, it's definitely in between the Ryzen 5 26X and this one here. The Xeon is a little bit behind this one. So again, we're not following the exact recommendations, but just watch this article here. So here's a side by side comparison. Control is a very demanding game as well. So they mashed up this CPU, the Ryzen 5 3600, with a Xeon, and they both hooked them up with a RTX 490. And just to look at the numbers, look, this CPU only beat Xeon by 5 FPS. That's insignificant, man. That's basically the same thing. So in this particular, again, we're talking about Starfield, we're not talking about Control, but I just want to show you why I picked this CPU and why I think it can give us pretty similar performance on Starfield. So look at that, 188 versus 183. Okay, that's fine. The modern day CPU that costs $200 is only 5 FPS better than the Xeon that costs us $13. So you guys decide where you want to waste your money. It's not my problem. But here we go. Here's some top 5 games. Grand Theft Auto, 306 versus the 275 FPS. Again, the Xeon wins, but is 306 really that much better than 275? You know, again, especially we're talking about Grand Theft Auto 5, right? I don't think there's a huge difference there. Counter-Strike, there's obviously a difference there, but it's not that big of a deal. There's a difference here. Valorant, of course, but who needs to play Valorant on FPS greater than 200, to be competitive and be good? Look, both of these CPUs can give you over 600, over 500. So you can see why I picked this. This is across these different games. Again, these games are not Starfield, but they're, it gives you an idea how this particular Xeon mashed up against this one could do potentially against Starfield. Some more stats here. There's the Geekbench 5 benchmarks. Obviously, there's a huge difference between the two here. It doesn't look very favorable for the Xeon, but again, you have to pick and choose where you're going to save money when you're building a gaming computer. And I feel confident to say that the Xeon would perform pretty well in contrast with this one, especially if you look at the games here. Now, Starfield will be, I'm pretty sure this CPU, the Xeon, will be better, a bit better, but again, I don't know if it's going to be that significant comparing how this Xeon compares in other games like this demanding game Control, in some of these other demanding games as well. So again, Starfield is another beast. It's a Pandora's box, but hey, obviously the clock speed on these CPUs, 3.1 gigahertz versus 3.8. There's a significant difference there. Okay, I admit it, but again, I think to play Starfield, I think we're gonna get by just fine. So you can finish looking at the numbers here, but I've gone with this CPU. You're free to look at the benchmarks more for that. But anyway, let's get to the parts and show you why we can build this computer for less than $500. So here we are, CPU. $13 compared to paying, what does this one cost? I think we said over $200. Let's just go to Amazon real quick, see how much this is actually costing. I'm very tempted to actually buy this and prove to you guys that there's not going to be a huge difference on Starfield. Let's see if I can find this exact CPU here. Yeah, it's over $200, man. Would you rather pay $200 or $13? That's your choice. And again, obviously the 200 CPU is going to get you a little bit better. It's going to get you better FPS, but I don't think it's going to be significant to merit why you're going to pay almost like $195 more for a CPU. That's, if you want to waste money, go for it. But anyway, here's my recommendation. Here's the CPU. Very affordable price on eBay, $13. Going to get a very similar performance to the Ryzen 5 3600X that Starfield has recommended, but hey, I think we can sacrifice in that department, the CPU. Okay, so motherboard, you're looking at this one on Amazon for $58. It's a gaming motherboard. It's going to be perfectly fine. You're going to be able to fit that CPU right in there. I'm very tempted to actually just buy to get these parts and show you guys that you can game Starfield. We got RAM here at DDR3, 16 gigabytes. There you go, $17 there for 2 sticks of 8 gigabytes. We're going to get a nice little cooler with RGB lights for $18. Now, here's one thing that you need to keep in mind. These Xeons heat up a lot. They take a lot of power off of your PSU, your power supply. So you need to have a good cooler. So that's why I recommend that you go with this cooler here. $18 has very good reviews here on Amazon. Case, now it's a little bit more money than that I would like to spend, $70 on a case, but hey, it looks really nice. Again, we are trying to play Starfield, the latest and greatest game right now. So $70, you're gonna get these red, green, blue RGB fan colors. Looks nice. All right, and we got the power supply, a 880 plus bronze, 550 watts, more than enough to power our CPU, our motherboard, and our graphics card, which we decided to go with the RTX 2080, I believe. So that's the PSU. We're going to have a SATA 512 gigabytes SSD, plenty of space to play Starfield and other games as well. And last but not least, the most important part, our GPU, a RTX 2080 with 8 gigabytes of RAM for $230. That's the most expensive part of our system here. But there you go, guys. There we are. Let me look at to show you guys. If you guys take a calculator, I already did it, but if you add up these numbers, you're looking at $475 to play Starfield on pretty much close to the recommended settings that they recommend. So again, recommended settings, you're going to get around 60 to a little bit more than 60 FPS easily on low to medium. High settings, you're probably going to be very close to 60 or a little bit below that. but I'm willing to bet that this little Xeon here is going to do the job. You know, I've been building computers for a while now, so you know, you're free to test this out yourself. I probably will buy this and show you the guys the test itself to show that it works. But look at that. Who would think that you can play Starfield with the high demands that they required hardware wise for sub $500? So there you go, guys. That's my challenge to you. Feel free to, you know, build it yourself, or I can build it for you. You know, it's gonna be able to play Starfield again. We went with what Starfield recommended here. The only thing that I didn't really complete would be the CPU, because I know the CPU that I picked is a bit less powerful than this one here, but it definitely falls above the minimum specs here. So it'll be interesting. I may or may not do this, but if you guys want, let me know. That's it for this video. Sorry it was so long, and there you go. This is how you build a gaming rig, sub $500. Play Starfield on recommended settings. You're gonna get easily 60 frames per second, and that is plenty enough for that game. You're gonna have nice graphics, medium to high graphics, 60 FPS. And that's it for this video. Let me know if you like these videos. I can make more videos like this. Check out my YouTube channel. Check out my store. You know, why go through the hassle of building a computer when you have some of these nice rigs here that I have available for you? They look very nice. They're ready to ship. Very affordable prices. And again, this is Noah's Gaming PCs. That's it for this video. And let me know if you have any questions. I'll see you guys on the next one. And goodbye.